All right, today we're talking about an absolute legend, a true cultural force whose voice, well, it didn't just define a genre, it pretty much was the genre for so many people. We're talking about the one, the only Celia Cruz, the undisputed Queen of Salsa. So let's get right into it.
You hear this one word and you immediately know who it is. Just azúcar, right? It means sugar in English, but man, it was so much more than just a catchphrase. It was like a burst of pure energy, a battle cry of joy. It was the sound of life itself, and it totally defined her and the incredible music she gave the world.
So who was the woman behind that iconic cry? Her story is just, wow. It's filled with unbelievable talent, yeah, but also this really deep, profound loss. And then this incredible, triumphant comeback. So let's go back. Let's trace her journey from a humble neighborhood in Cuba all the way to global superstardom. Okay, so our story starts right where you'd expect, at the very beginning. We're going to Havana, Cuba, where a future icon was just starting to find her voice. And get this, her full name is a story all on its own. Úrsula Hilaria Celia de la Caridad Cruz Alfonso. Wow. She was born into a working-class family, and, the plan wasn't for her to be a musician. Her family really wanted her to become a teacher. But from the very beginning, that voice, it was just undeniable. She would sing to her younger siblings and cousins, and it was clear. The music was already inside her, just waiting to come out. Well, a talent like that, you just can't keep it contained for long. Her passion took her from just singing at home to becoming the voice, the frontwoman for one of Cuba's most legendary orchestras. And her rise was, well, meteoric. It was so fast. After studying music formally, she lands her big break in 1950. She becomes the lead singer for La Sonora Matancera. And you gotta understand, this wasn't just some band. They were a huge deal. With them, her incredible voice and just magnetic stage presence made her a household name all over Latin America. But then comes 1959, and everything, absolutely everything, was about to change. Yeah, the Cuban Revolution, it wasn't just a political event for her. It was a deeply personal, dramatic, and painful turning point. From this moment on, her story becomes the story of an icon in exile, forever cut off from the very place that shaped her. And the change was just so sudden, so stark. Imagine this. You're on tour in Mexico, and you get word that the new government, Fidel Castro's government, has barred you from ever coming home again. Just like that, she went from being one of her country's most beloved stars to an exile, permanently, unable to go back to the home, the family, the life she loved. I mean, the loss was just profound. But here's the thing about Celia Cruz. She was not going to fade away. No way. Instead, she took all of that energy, all that talent, and she channeled it into building something new, a whole new kingdom of sound, right here in the United States. And this is where she would be crowned the one and only undisputed Queen of Salsa. So once she's in the US, she connects with some of the biggest names in the business. We're talking musical titans like Tito Puente, Johnny Pacheco, Willie Colon. She becomes the central figure in the Fania All-Stars, which was basically a supergroup that took these incredible Afro-Cuban rhythms and helped turn them into a global phenomenon we now call salsa. And Celia? She was its heart. She was its soul. So what exactly was the recipe here? What made her such a global icon? Well, first, you have that voice. Powerful, unique, absolutely unmistakable. Second, you've got her style. The wild, flamboyant wigs, the sparkling costumes. It was pure theater. Third, her stage presence was just electric. You could not take your eyes off her. And of course, fourth, that joyful shout, Azúcar! It was the signature that just pulled it all together. Celia passed away back in 2003, but her legacy, wow, it's just as vibrant and powerful today as it ever was. It's this incredible legacy of music, of course, but also of culture and of a spirit that was just unbreakable. And, the official recognition she got was just immense. I mean, we're talking multiple Grammys, multiple Latin Grammys. She received the National Medal of Arts from a U.S. president, got her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The world absolutely took notice and honored her for her incredible contributions. And behind this larger-than-life global superstar, there was also this really deep and lasting partnership. For 41 years, she was married to Pedro Kite. He was a musician too, and he eventually became her manager. He was kind of the quiet, steady force behind this explosive star, truly the cornerstone of her life and her career. When you really boil it down, her legacy goes so far beyond just the music. For millions of Cubans and for Latinos all over the world, she became something more. She became, and I'm quoting here, a symbol of Cuban identity, joy, and resistance in exile. Think about how powerful that is. And that really leaves us with this one last thought. Celia Cruz couldn't physically go home, right? So instead, she carried her home with her. You could hear it in her music, you could see it in her style, you felt it in every single shout of Azúcar. It just makes you think, how can one single voice become so powerful that it ends up carrying the entire spirit of a nation?